This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports. We're delighted to be joined with the bomber, Thomas Carty. How are you, mate?
Fantastic. Look at me. How could I not be fantastic waking up and seeing this face every morning?
I think I think I think everybody's going to know the reason for this. You are our 400th interview that obviously we've done since we started just over 3 years ago, I think actually now.
Well,
February 2020. So you're the 400th interview. So I think that's why you got the hair done today.
got a little hair done and everything. No, congratulations, Steve. On fair play. You do give all the boxes great covers. I have to say, it's one of the best pages. You're looking for updates on anything, and especially Irish related. Jump on all things boxing NI. You have it there in 2 seconds. So fair play and congratulations. And long may it continue.
Definitely. I think I was looking at it last night, and it's nearly 300 interviews I've done in just over a year. So, and I do have a girlfriend. I know some people go, "Yeah, if you do that many interviews and it's a part-time thing, you don't have a life." But I have a girlfriend that loves boxing. That's the added bonus.
You're lucky.
As you know, your missus loves the boxing as well, although she loves her Love Island as well. So that's just why we're getting around this tonight, because we're both our missuses are watching Love Island whilst we're having a chat.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
But I guess that's part and parcel, isn't it? Obviously, if you have a good missus that likes the sport, it makes it easier for particularly for you as well. Obviously, with all your training and everything else.
To be honest, me and Shannon, the reason we work so well is because she does not speak to me about boxing whatsoever unless I've like a fight come up or something. Apart from that, she's oblivious to it. And I think that's why it works so well because when I'm in my ma's gaff around like that, it's just non-stop questions. I mean, nanny non-stop questions, all the family non-stop, the lads non-stop. So it's great. Shannon doesn't really care much for it at all, to be honest. It's just fantastic.
Did it sort of help? I guess obviously I know we're going back. We've spoke about this previously, but obviously whenever you're fighting the SSE was called off on fight day, does it sort of help when Shannon isn't too much involved with the boxing, whereas she knows not then they speak about it, when it's hurting you that an hour or so before your duty fight and everybody bought tickets and everything else, that
Doesn't matter.
you were able to enjoy the boxing without actually thinking too much in your own fight, even though it was in your head,
Yeah.
she wasn't speaking about it.
Yeah, it does. It helps. It definitely helps. Yeah, 100%. It does.
And obviously getting on, I guess we're not just here just to have a normal sort of chinwag. You've obviously had your first fight date announced. The Carty party is off to London town.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so fighting April 22nd at your call. Delighted to finally have a date that I can announce. Yeah, so first of many, hopefully a very, very busy year. Um, I'm ready to fight now. I thought I was going to be fighting the end of February, to be honest. Then I thought the middle of March, but now we finally have a date, middle of April. We're ready to rock, and anything in between now and then, after then, I'm ready for. You know what I
I guess obviously everybody, when we last spoke and everything else, it was, we're looking at Croke Park potentially. Obviously, it's not obviously happening now. Croke Park might be pushed further in the year. When you sort of heard the news, I guess, and the rumblings that Amanda Serrano was off the card, obviously, and we've never had a date officially locked, a venue locked in as such yet. But whenever the Serrano, because everybody, even you as a boxer, you obviously want to fight in the Katie Taylor card, and you also want to fight in Dublin. So when Serrano was pulled off, you were sort of going, who's up to the jokes here? This can't be true.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dodgy one because Katie obviously, she's the best female boxer of all time as far as I'm concerned. It's very hard just to pull an opponent in for her to fight then because I know she's not going to want any easy fights. You know what I mean? So I was a bit pessimistic in terms of whether a card would actually come off in May at all. But I don't know. It's looking good. So fingers crossed. Hopefully we get some news. I don't know when this interview is going out, but hopefully we get some news that the card is actually being announced, confirmed, and all going well. I'll get a big homecoming here in Dublin myself.
It's Friday evening. We're going to put it up Friday evening because it's the big one. It's the big 400. It's like turning 40 in age.
I
It's a
better
big
be
milestone.
500 as well now.
So we have to get it straight out. But I've heard sort of rumblings. Chantel Cameron's agreed her fight person, everything else. It's down to Katie now, and Katie called for the fight with Chantel Cameron. Eddie Hearn knows her
Yeah.
number. So it's going to be easily made. And I think tomorrow night, Saturday night, it's going to be announced in Liverpool that the fight's done and dusted.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be fantastic. To be honest, I'd be buzzing after it. After finally seeing something in concrete announced. It'd be a great feeling. I think.
What's your thoughts? I guess I know everybody's going to back Carty to the hilt and everything else, but what's your I've an opinion where I feel that Chantel Cameron's probably a tougher fight than Serrano because she's bigger. You know, don't get me wrong, Serrano's a 7-weight world champion and everything else, but I just think Cameron is a bit more to her. So it's actually probably we see it in rare occasions where a fight gets cancelled and the fight that's actually made as a replacement could actually work out a better fight.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. The more I think, I'm a big fan of Chantel Cameron as well. Yeah, there's an argument there to be made that it's actually a harder fight. You could use the whole Cameron being a heavier weight class. I'm not too sure if the fight gets made. What weight is it going to be made at? Is it catch weight? Is
I think
Katie
they're
going
look.
up to Chantel?
I think they're looking 140. So obviously Katie being looking at becoming two weight undisputed.
You know, Unbelievable. And like, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Katie. You know what I mean? So, I know time will tell. Time will tell. I'll be back in Katie, of course, 100%. I can't see her ever being beaten. Um, but stranger things have happened. Fantastic fight though, and goes to show what sort of a person, what sort of a fighter Katie is to even be calling for challenges like that. It's crazy. It's unheard of, and I don't think we'll ever see another athlete like her, especially here in Ireland.
It's I guess it's a great honor. It'd be a great honor for you obviously to share a card with her in Dublin. First and foremost, it's you fighting in Dublin. But obviously, when you look at the bigger picture and in years to come, and you're telling your kids and your grandkids, I boxed in Katie Taylor's first professional fight in Ireland. We're
That, that
22nd,
that's as,
23rd pro fight.
that's as deep as it is. That's providing everything goes well. Show gets announced, fights all go ahead. Just to be part of a night like that, that's Irish sport history there. And I've said it a couple of times. People might think I'm being a bit extreme, but I think it could be probably one of the biggest sporting events we've ever had here.
And then they
Crow
think of
Park,
Croke Park as
regardless
well.
of, I think regardless of the venue, yeah, I think regardless whether it happens, obviously not happening in Crow Park. It looks like it's happening in Tree Arena. Regardless of that, I still think it's probably top three biggest sporting event we've ever had here in this country. It's the return of our greatest athlete across the board, greatest athlete we've ever had here. Like as a country, she's without a doubt the best athlete we've ever had. So the return home since beginning her pro career and first fight as a professional here in Ireland. It's actually shameful to even be saying that, but fantastic to be able to say.
You've been to obviously you and Gary Culler were at the Three Arena the other week. Were you obviously down scouting out and feeling the atmosphere? You've probably been to the Three Arena probably more times than you've probably been to school, but throwing a nice one in because you're 100 miles away.
Yeah.
But you've obviously experienced the Three Arena and everything else. For obviously anybody that's not been to the Three Arena, it's probably going to go there for the first time for a Katie Taylor fight. What's the atmosphere like in the Three Arena?
I have to say, yeah. So I've been to two Bellator events in recent times. The last one, the atmosphere wasn't as good, right? So I'm not going to use the last one as an example. The time before that, where Peter Queally was the main event, the atmosphere in there is unbelievable. I think, obviously we'd all love Crow Park, but that put aside, yeah, the way the Tree Arena is laid out, it's like kind of a half dome shape, really high seats, looking down onto the one ring. Like it's going to be mental. It's going to be absolutely crazy. I have to say it is. It's going to be really, really good. And I was at a show there when Spike knocked out Fitzy years ago. I was at that show there, and the atmosphere that night was savage as well for a boxing night. I think it was Sky Sports that ran that show.
Yeah, it was.
So, it's a great venue, unbelievable venue, great location. I think the atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. Like, any boxing event I've been to in recent times, Conn Wood. Then I was at what else was there? I was at Dillian White and Tyson Fury. Boxing fans are the best fans in the world, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm looking forward to seeing that atmosphere with boxing fans.
We're sort of. I'm just thinking there as well. A year ago today, I touched down in Nottingham. Obviously, we're a couple of days from what would be a year from that. But what an occasion that was. Unfortunately, it ended up being the main event was obviously Mick, unfortunately lost in the last round from making a clean sweep for Irish boxers that night. But I guess, we sort of look at it a year on down the line, and it's them I guess them moments of obviously fighting in a big card in Nottingham. You obviously fought in Chantel Cameron's card in England and stuff as well. You're well prepared for when you do make your homecoming in Dublin as well. That we were talking off camera there. You want them moments when your knees are shaking, when you're about to make a ring walk. Your Peter Queally moments. I remember you saying there about being at that. His walkout zombie.
Was
The
one of the best I've ever seen.
it's you want a moment like that where you're standing ready to come out and your legs are trembling. It's nearly as if Packy have to carry on his shoulders.
Packy has a bad back from the pads of me now. I don't think he'd be carrying me, but we'll find someone to carry me out, yeah?
I'm sure Spike maybe might try it as well.
Definitely not. Definitely not. He would not be carrying anyone. He can barely carry himself.
but I guess with the what you've done so far has been sort of working for this moment, because you always know that, particularly with you being a heavyweight, you're always going to get opportunities, whether it was on an undercard of Katie Taylor, or whether it was you going to be headlining your own show in Dublin. These moments were always going to come for you. So in your mind, you've probably been prepared for this for years.
Yeah, like I've been preparing for moments like this. I have really, really high hopes and big ambitions in this boxing game. And I really do. Now at 4-0, I really have big ambitions, and there's things I want to do in boxing. But do you know what's mad as well? At the same time, I've only had 4 fights, yeah, and the 4 fights I've had, they've been like, each fight night, yeah, would be in the top 10 best days of my life up in these 27 years. I love what I'm doing, you know what I mean? I really, really am. And I suppose I'll be blessed as well to be able to spend my days doing this. Not everybody can afford, not financially, but can afford just in life to be able to chase what they want to do. You know what I mean? And I'm not stuck in a job that I hate. So I'm blessed, I have to say. And I'm excited now talking about the Katie card. I have a fight to get out of the way first, April 22nd, but this is what I do it for. You know what I mean? Roll on. We talk about nerves and stuff like that, but this is all stuff that's expected. You know what I mean? So I'm buzzing, absolutely buzzing, I have to say.
I guess the ideal scenario is obviously between now and the fight date on the 22nd of April. The ideally obviously want to go into that fight in April nearly as if you're not it's not a warm up or anything like that, but you nearly want a 1 round job so that you can avoid getting a head clash or any injuries. Because you imagine obviously you hurt your arm or you had a cut and someone telling you can't fight in the 3 arena, the big carnage.
Oh, carnage. No, absolutely. Listen, I will make sure, no matter what happens, that should the call come for me to fight on May 20th, that I'll be ready, fit, and able to fight on May 20th. Whether I have to super glue eyes back together or fight with braces on arms, and I'll get whatever procedure needs to be done on the slide to make sure I'm 100% for May 20th. But all going well, I'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Get Liam to lend you his arms.
Yeah, I gotta lend the Liam's arm. Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't be fair. Obviously, heavyweight boxing, we're sort of seeing the last couple of days. It's looking like Fury and Uzak wasn't going to happen. Uzak's manager was obviously on saying that it looks like the fight's dead, done and dusted. Well, it's obviously not going to happen, and it might look like Dubois next. And then obviously today, now Fury's come out and said to Uzak 70-30 or it's nothing, and it's going to go down 1% per day. Before we've come on to do this interview, Uzak's accepted. So he accepted the 70-30 split. There'll be parts of boxing that you probably haven't got used to yet, seeing the comical side. Like, I know a lot of fans get annoyed with all the drama in the background. Is that something that how do you sort of adjust with that? You just like the box?
Well, where I'm at this stage, that sort of thing is all handled for me. You know what I mean? Like, you have to understand, and what people don't really, you'll know this yourself, but I'll just say it anyways, that there's so many loose ends in boxing at the top elite level, the top guys in boxing. There's so many loose ends that need to be tied up before a fight can actually be made. You know what I mean? And when two people value themselves at the same, and they don't think the other person deserves a 50-50 split or whatever, that's where problems happen. You know what I mean? That's where you get disagreements and stuff like that. So that's why these fights take a while to make. And fingers crossed it gets made, because it'd be an awful pity if it doesn't. You know, I think it'd be the biggest fight in boxing since God knows when. You know, it's a real battle of the two top guys at heavyweight, and whoever comes out the winner of that fight is the best. There's no question about it.
I think it's gonna be the first time it's gonna be a complete four belt, undisputed sort of in the heavyweight division as well. So it's another history defining moment in the sport.
Yeah, it's huge, absolutely huge. So fingers crossed can get made. There's so much that goes on in the background. I only know, the tip of the iceberg when it comes to it. And even the tip of the iceberg is a lot. So I can't imagine how much negotiating, what needs to be negotiated. They're both champions. Who walks first? You have all that sort of stuff. Who gets the big dressing room? Who gets the smaller dressing? There's loads of stuff that goes on behind closed doors. So that's why these fights take time. And to be honest, the buzz has kind of actually been drained out a bit. So fingers crossed it gets made. You can look into these videos that I put out all the time, but it'll get made when it gets made. When both people really, really want the fight to get made. Maybe someone doesn't want it as much as they're saying.
You like to have that sort of, it comes as a shock that the sort of fight's been done. Nowadays we're seeing in boxing that everything's all done before the announcement. Then when the announcement comes, it's like, oh, well, sure, we already know. We already know what's happening, sort of thing. I guess it's taking it back to that sort of trying to bring it back a few levels and stop doing it all online. Let everything happen in the background, and then when the fight's made, announce it and have the excitement by fans, and whether they like the fight or whether they don't like the fight. How do you see, when you look at it in your head as a boxer, how do you see the fight? Like obviously Fury said Usyk's a middleweight. How do you sort of see the fight going? Is it just like a chess match?
I think it's one of those kind of fights, to be honest. Like Fury should win, like Tyson Fury should win. I think Tyson Fury would win, but it's one of those. If they fought 10 times, I can see it being 5-5. You know what I mean? Just so many ways Usyk could win, so many ways Fury could win. It's one of those. I'm gonna say Fury, but I really just don't know. What a fight! You know what I mean? I really don't know. I can't give an honest opinion. I'd be hoping and praying Fury would win, but I can't see how it's going to turn out.
I think if Fury wins good in the way that it could potentially obviously make the AJ fight that was made previously and obviously it then disappeared. I get why they're obviously saying the splits and everything else because of Usyk's name, and he's not as big a draw as an AJ or a Fury or a Wilder, that sort of scenario. So probably for the good of, well, I'm not going to say for the good of boxing. Obviously for the good of boxing, the right person always wins, but the commercial value in boxing, probably in that sense, everybody probably wants Fury to win. They see the bigger fights.
Yeah, to see the bigger fight. Is it a bigger fight now that Yeah, I know what you mean. Fury AJ is the fight everybody wants to see now. In the UK, because everybody knows them so much, and even in predominantly in the world of boxing, not that Usyk is unknown, but you'd have to be a real good fan to know how good Usyk actually is. You like any of the kids in the gym barely know who Alexander Usyk is. They only know him since he beat AJ. I've been following his whole career personally, but they only know him since he beat AJ. So yeah, it'd be great to see the AJ Fury fight, but to be honest, me personally, the AJ Usyk is the one or Fury Usyk is the one I want to see.
Yeah, I guess it's getting that out of the way because, to give it the other scenario, obviously, if Usyk wins, where does he go next? He's obviously already beat AJ twice. Does he look at the trilogy fight? I guess with Fury Wilder 3 times. Does he look at Wilder? Where does he sort of go? Whereas with Fury, the general path is the AJ the fight that everybody wants, and then that's it put to bed, or they have a rematch or whatever. But I guess everyone wants to see the biggest. For you as well, I guess, in big ways, obviously, it's more big potential cards to be on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well as that, anybody Usyk fights, more than likely going to get a little phone call for sparring. So I love that. You know what I mean? I love every chance I get to test myself and to learn from these top heavyweights. I'm going to take, and I'm going to really look forward to and enjoy and embrace. So long may Usyk keep winning, to be honest.
Obviously, finally, and obviously, I know it's not fair sometimes, and they give off at others whenever they speak more in an interview to other people than the person they're interviewing. Um, but I'm guessing you're obviously looking at taking quite an army with you to York Hall on the 22nd of April.
Big time. So there's loads at the booking flights out because this is the first fight that I've gotten so far where I've gotten a decent bit of notice for, you know. So there's a big crew after booking flights already. There's a big crew coming from London. Hopefully there'll be a couple of my family members from America. Load of lads, family and all booked to go over. And you never know who might be jumping on board. English friends that I have. So looking forward, like it's gonna be a busy one. Definitely gonna be a bit probably it's gonna be my biggest crowd, yeah.
Biggest crowd, and you sold quite a few tickets for Belfast as well. Obviously, in the fight that didn't happen, you sold quite a bit there. I guess London's brilliant. Everybody's it's a weekend away to London. York Hall is probably one of my favorite venues as well because there's not a bad place to be in it. And it's a real sort of compact sort of theatre type. People. The best thing is the balcony because you can look down in the fights and get really good pictures, really good views. Um, but it's another venue for you to tick off on the bucket list.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really blessed in the sense that I fought at the O2, I fought at Wembley Arena, I fought at Motorpoint Arena, I fought. My debut was in Belgium in Liège. People probably don't know that arena too well, but I've had 4 arena fights so far, and now I'm going to box in the iconic York Hall. I'm blessed, to be honest, absolutely blessed. Really, really grateful. Looking forward. I hear great things. I've never actually even been there myself, so looking forward to it. Yeah.
And then obviously the 3 Arena in Crook Park to come in the rest of 2023. You couldn't ask for better.
Oh, big year coming up. 100%. I'm going to buy a jet ski this year. That's it. My ambition. I'm getting a jet ski and I'm gonna drive up the Liffey. That's the dream this year now. Yeah.
Because you're not. Well, you wouldn't be too far away, would you, from water?
Only down the road. Only down the road. Yeah. I'm buying a jet ski now after Crow Park happens. Yeah, we'll get a jet ski.
So that's what you bought. That's what you bought the Land Rover for. Then it's an advance for the jet ski.
100%. 100%. Then no, I got sorted with the Land Rover by Auto Class. They look after me, but they say you can't buy happiness, but you've never seen anyone sad on a jet ski, So that's always stuck out to me. I'm gonna get myself a jet ski.
I've never
Liffey or up the canal.
I've never seen an 18-stone man on a jet ski before.
We get a big one. We get 18 stone on a good day.
But obviously, I guess it's them wee things, doesn't it? Keep you going on a day-to-day basis because if all you done 24/7 was box, train, sleep, sort of in that environment, it's a short time you'd only want to do the sport for. You want to have the longevity of the sport.
That's, to be honest, what box, train, sleep. That's what I do, anyways, at the moment. So I look forward to those, couple of days where I can take off, get a little break away. But even when I go out, I'm still training in the gym. I love training. You know what I mean? This is the lifestyle I live. I'm not a drinker. I don't do drugs. You know what I mean? I don't gamble. I despise watching football. So what is there to do? Only be healthy, train, look after myself. I'm blessed to make a career at it. So that's what I do anyways. I really want a jet ski, to be honest.
Well, then here in a couple of years' time, you'll be like McGregor with your big boats, when you're at the very top of the sport, But here you have to dream,
Yeah, you have to dream.
If you don't dream, you'll never have ambition to get there.
Absolutely, 100%.
Definitely is. But it's been an absolute pleasure as always. We always have a great laugh, and we do it on a daily basis, nearly on away from sort of online stuff. But it's obviously a good honour to obviously have you as interview number 400. Who knows in a year's time? It might be 1,000. The way it's going here at the moment, it might be 1,000. Particularly with so many shows coming up as well.
Who knows? I think you're going to get to the stage, Steve, where you're just going to be sitting in the house, not even doing interviews, and have all your staff doing them for you now, to be honest.
See, that's the thing. It's as a boxing fan, I like to be able to get into people's minds and ask my own questions. So I wouldn't want someone else to do something for me because you'd only then go, why did you not ask him this? Or why did you not ask him this? It's always me trying to get inside your mind to see how you tick.
Yeah.
But I guess if I didn't know how you tick by now, there'd be something wrong.
There would be, yeah, because you give me some shit online now, to be honest. I feel like blocking you fairly soon.
Here, I'm not as bad as Spike just yet.
Not just yet, not just yet, but you're approaching. We won't talk about Spike. We won't talk about Spike at the moment. He's in me good books. He's actually in me good books at the moment.
But listen, it's been a pleasure. Obviously speaking with you as usual. Obviously, 6 weeks tomorrow, you're back in action. Have you still got any tickets left? And obviously, anybody's looking, maybe someone that's
Uh,
watching this in England is
tickets are,
looking tickets.
tickets are flying out, to be honest. People are texting me for tickets left, right, and centre. But if you get in touch soon, I'll sort it for you. If you get in touch closer to the time, I'll try my best, but I can't guarantee it. You know what I mean?
And anybody that's obviously it's watching this interview thinking that you're a cert for tickets for the Three Arena, you just always make it aware that until you know what
If I get
tickets
on,
you'll have.
if I get on the Three Arena card, yeah, don't text me for tickets. Do not text me for tickets because I'll probably get 10 and I'm going to have more than between the family anyways to see who's going. So don't text me. There's a pre-warning. I
Well,
know
listen,
it. I said with tickets, everyone's like, get me a ticket for Carty Taylor's fight and all. I'll sort the people that have come and supported me so far before I will even sort family members that haven't come and supported me. That's how I'm doing it.
that's the best way to do it. Reward the loyalty. It's in the
100%.
day.
Yeah, absolutely.
If people stay loyal to you, you'll stay loyal to them.
Oh, absolutely. I'll do anything for people that come and support me. Look, I've gone and supported people before in boxing. I know it costs money. I know it costs their hard-earned money and time. You know what I mean? And that means an awful lot to me. So I understand the position I put people in when I put up these fight announcements and people are like, oh, I'm going to come to your fight. I'm so grateful. You know what I mean? So all going well. April 22nd, we get that boxed off, ticked off. May 20th comes around, I'll try and sort as many people as I can with tickets. But if I can't, I can't. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Well, listen, thanks very much for your time as always. And I'm sure we'll catch up with you very, very soon.
Congratulations as well, Steve, on 400 interviews. That's something to be proud of. Well done.
Cheers, Thomas. Take care. Thank you,
Pleasure,
mate.
mate.
Cheers.
Pleasure.
Thanks. Bye
Talk to you.
bye. Bye bye. Bye.